Okay, good morning. Remind me, it's in the morning here. So I want us to solve this question. The logarithm part here, I decide not to do much about all this logarithm here. And if you have any issue with logarithm, you can always message me. And then, of course, we see something to do about that. Now, I want to do 1b altogether, where we have if x squared plus 2s minus 3 is a factor of the polynomial f of s, which is equal to what? 2s cubed plus 9s squared plus x plus n, where m and n are constant. And in this kind of question, the first thing we require to do is to find the value of what? Find the value of m and n, and hence factorize completely, like everything on the whole. Okay, now let's get to business. Now this is the question. They already told us. This is the question here. They already told us. This is the question here. Now the question is given that x squared plus 2s cubed minus 3 is a factor of f of s divided by what it is divided by. Altogether here, I had to show you guys that it's part of your past question. That's it. Now for you to do that, what do? They already gave us a factor. Now we felt like the factor they gave us here, this is the factor here. The factor they gave us around here is something we can actually further factorize. Altogether here. And that was what we did here. We factorized this. And you know how to factorize and take the product of the first and the last. That is minus 3x squared. And then you look for two things to multiply to get minus 3. You have to get what? The sum. The center number, that is the sum. To get 2. And once you pick negative, you take positive 3. That will be positive 3 and negative 1. Sorry. Positive 3, negative 1. So we run the factorization. We got this. All together here now. Okay, I believe now factorization shouldn't be an issue to anybody. But if, let me assume it's not an issue to anybody. But even if it is an issue, let me show you how you can easily do that here. Factorization. We'll just run it 2-3 steps, and then we go to the next thing. I don't want to each of the videos to be long. Now I want to factorize it. That will be, I already told you the factor. That will be s squared minus 3s plus 3s. I guess I got it wrong there. This is plus and this is minus s. Then what's minus 3? So are you together now? So you bring these two in brackets and this one 2 in brackets. Something is common to that's s into brackets s plus 3. And something is common to this minus 1. You are factoring it out. Plus 3. At the end of the day, these two are the same thing, big one, and then you have x minus 1. So that's how we get our factor here. I want to get it now. So we know that x minus 1, x plus 3 is a factor of f of s. Now, don't forget, if they say something is a factor of something, what does that connote? That is the first thing you should think about. Oh, they say this is a factor of a polynomial. What does that word mean? It means that if you divide that polynomial, this f of s, if you divide f of s by this, what we call the factor here, you're going to get 0. Now, since we further factorize the factor to get x minus 1, x plus 3, if you divide the f of x, this is our f of s, this f of s, that is the whole of this function here. If you divide it by x minus 1, you get 0. If you divide it by x plus 3, you get 0. Now, there's something beautiful about it. That is, if now let me take you through this series. Let me make it something you can view. If I say 4 divided by 3 equals 1. Now 4 divided by 3, or let me not use 4. Let me use 8 divided by 3. You know that to be 2 whole number 1 over 3. And if you want to write it, this is the same as 2 times 3 plus 1 this side. That is, what do we call 2? Now, that is, don't mind me, let me show you where we get remainders theorem and all these rules from. That's what I want to do. Let me show you something beautiful around here. How do I do that here? Let me use another ink, I guess, to make it fast. Now, you divided 8 by 8 divided by 3. Then, of course, Then let's say I put a kind of, what do we call this now? Let's say I put my 8 inside here. You put your 3 here. You get your 2 here, and then you get, oh, that will be 2 here, please. That will be 2 here. Now, then you get 6. At the end of the day, you drop 2. Now we say that is, yeah, this is the dividend, this is the divisor, this is the quotient, this is the remainder. So the rule remains that the function, the numerator, which is the dividend, and don't forget our dividend here is f of x. Our dividend here is f of x. So our dividend equals quotient times the divisor plus the remainder. Don't forget, please. Dividend equals quotient times the divisor plus the remainder. And if something is a factor of something, then the remainder is going to be 0. Hope you don't forget that. Now, that is, we can just say our function. Now, if you divide a polynomial, now, how do we know? Now, look at what we wrote here. I'm coming. Let me continue with this beautiful series here. Now, don't forget. Are we here? Now, we further factorize this to, we've said that before. Now, how do I know that this is what this thing is going to be? And this thing will be equal to f of x. Now, don't forget the polynomial they give us is polynomial of degree 3. Yeah. And then they give us a factor of degree 2. If you divide something of degree 2 by degree 3, you get a linear expression. That's why we know that. Then, are we together here now? Are we together here? That is, the quotient is going to be this guy. So our quotient to be of the form, a linear equation is of the form ax plus b. So you get a linear expression. That's why we know that, okay, the quotient is going to be a linear expression, only that we don't know what the a is going to be and what the b is going to be. So what do we do? And the remainder is 0. So what we did here was to say dividend times the quotient plus the remainder, a remainder of 0. And 0 added to anything is what? Is that thing itself. That's why we don't bother to put that in that expression there. So somebody is not saying, I'm not seeing it clearly. And let me continue. So what do? We need to open this bracket. At the end of the day, when we are done simplifying the LHS, because we are calling, what we are trying to say now is that our f of s is actually this thing. This thing is actually our f of s. Are we together here? That's our claim. Now, for the claim to be justifiable, what do we need to do? Simple. Let's open this bracket. So we opened it. Of course, let as multiply everything in this first bracket. After that, let plus b multiply everything in this first bracket. So multiplying ax by s squared, you get ax raised to power 3. Ax by 2s, you get what do you get now? Oh, we are multiplying. No, sorry, we did s squared multiply everything in this bracket. After that, plus 2s multiply everything in this bracket, and minus 3 multiply everything in this bracket. That was what we did. I'm sorry. Now, s squared times as, that's as raised to power 3. Now, s squared times b, that will be bs squared. Then 2s times as, that will be 2ax squared. And then you continue, just this will multiply the 2, this will multiply the 2, and this last one to multiply the two things we have there. So by that, we get this beautiful looking expression. And that is actually what, but we are not done. We need to simplify. Collect like things. This one is having x squared, this one is having s squared. By the rule, bring the two together. This one is having this one is the coefficient of s, coefficient of x, bring the two together too. Collecting like them. And that was what we did here. We collected the like them. So that would be as raised to power 3, and that would be b plus 2a, all with x squared, and 2b minus 3a. The 2 is having x. Don't forget this one is positive. That's why we have the positive sign outside. Then they have a minus 3. Now, what's our claim? Our claim is that this f of s it must be equal to this our new f of s. That's the claim, and it is 100% valid because we said that is what f of s actually is. Now, what do we need to do? We just need to compare the things around here, comparing each of the term here to each of the term here. That's all. Compare or equate. Now, by doing that, if this side equals this side, which I've said before, then a will be equal to 2. By comparing coefficients, simple. By comparing coefficient, the coefficient of s cubed, on the left we have a, on the right we have 2. So a equal to 2. The coefficient of s squared, on the left we have b plus 2a, on the right we have what? 9. So b plus 2a will be equal to 9. Now, the coefficient of x, on the right we have 2b minus 3a, on the left we have m, on the left you have m, so 2b minus 3a will be equal to m. The constant, on the right you have minus 3b, on the left we have n. So that, we pair it like that. They will be equal, they will be equal. Now we've been able to get the value of A. We just need to go a little bit further into the second one with the second stuff here, this one. Making use of this, we'll be able to get our B, and by that we get our M and N. Since A equals 2, which you know, then we just substitute into the second side. Let me call it equation 2, equation 3, and equation 4 to get our B, to get our M, to get our M. Are we get what I'm saying now? Since A already equal to 2, substitute into that equation, the other equation we have B, don't mind me please, the other equation where we have B plus 2A, B plus 2A equals 9. Where we have B plus 2A equals 9. Already A is 2. Now with B plus 2 times 2, are we together? 2 times 2. B plus 2 times 2 equals to 9. So B there is going to be 5. Are we together here now? Then the next thing I did here was to get the value of N. Since we know that minus 3B equals N. Minus 3B equals N from equation 4. That's what I did. From equation 4, just substitute 5 equals to, substitute 5 for B in equation 4 for you to be able to get N. So that will be minus 3 times 5, that's minus 15. And to get M, already you know what A is. A is 2. You know what B is. B is 5. Substitute it into equation 3. That will be 2 times 5 minus 3 times 2. There we get our M to be 4. So at the end of the day, the constant they want us to get, we've been able to get it. How to get it here now? So that is the value of our constant. We've been able to get that as up. Now the other side, when they say we should factorize completely, don't forget we already said our f of s. Somebody is thinking, will I go back to the function? In case you have this kind of question, will I go back to the function and begin to factorize that long f of s, 2s cubed plus this plus that? No. They already told us that it is s squared plus 2s minus 3. How to get there now? They already told us that that is the value. So since we already have that clue, how to get there now? We don't need to disturb ourselves. Now, and we broke that down. We factorized that dividend to get x minus 1 and x plus 3. And we said our f of s, don't forget, our f of s, we said our f of s, let me take you back to the point. We said our f of s is actually some beautiful thing here. Let me take you back to the point. Yes. We said our f of s is actually some beautiful thing. Don't mind me. Yes, we said our f of s is what? Now, this is our f of s. Now, somebody is not thinking, will I have to now factorize this one by one and get the answer? No, you don't need to do that at all. You don't need to factorize this again. That will be a waste of time. Now, they said this is a factor. And then we've been able to say that, okay, if that is a factor, which you factorize to get this. Now, we've already said our f of s, this same f of s we have here, is equal to the one we did here, our own f of s here. So what do you need to do to factorize it completely? Just substitute A for A and B for B. That's all. That was all we did. That was all we did here. We substituted A for A and we substituted B for B. And with that, we were able to get our beautiful looking function easily. We were able to factorize it completely. Not until the time you now begin to pick it one by one and you think, how do I get it? No. So this is what we did here. We just substituted A for A. We already know that x minus 1 is a factor, s plus 3 is a factor. Then the top factor, A is 2, B is 5. That's how we factorize it completely. Just now, for you to factorize it completely, in case it is a theory question you want to write, just look at what I want to write here. This is just how you do it. This is just how you do it. You don't need to go back and be stressing yourself. You just say, since now we've been able to determine the value of m and n. That's the first thing. Haven't done that. Then you just say that since our f of s now, which they gave us, we've been able to conclude that it is equal to what? X minus 1, then x plus 3 times ax plus b. That is it. That f of s, that 2x raised by 2x raised by 3, and all that, it is equal to this. So what do I need to do? I just need to substitute a for a here and b for b. And that was what we did to get the answer. I believe this is very, very clear to everybody and to somebody.